It may be that if this was greased up good, it might be pretty good. The one on the other end, you know, had a grease fitting, and I put a new one in there. I'm going to grease that one up. And interestingly enough, this one is actually made, this is the whole shaft. If you notice, this one is put on with threads, but this one isn't. This whole shaft has this tie rod end built into the end of it. This is the steering shaft. So I definitely want to save that and use that. That's part of the old original equipment, I believe, or something pretty close to it. I might, like I said, I might just take this one and drill it out and see if that can be threaded. If it can be threaded and I can get a grease fitting in there, why not? I mean, it's worth a shot. Don't cost much. This is pretty old school, but I believe it'll work. What I've done, like I was saying before, is I drilled the hole in the end of this. I went to tap it out so that I could put this grease fitting in here, and it turns out that I couldn't find my smallest tap. And you know, I probably broke it somewhere along the way. So basically, and today is Easter, so the the hardware store is closed and I can't go get one. So what I'm going to do, this is pretty old school stuff here, but I'm gonna make up a makeshift tap. I'm going to take this screw right here. I'm going to trim the end of it so it's a little bit pointed, then I'm going to cut a ridge in it so that when these threads go down in there, they'll start to cut. This is pretty unprofessional, but I believe I can do it, and all I need is enough thread to get this grease fitting to go in there, screw in there a little bit and hold the pressure of a little bit of grease. I believe I can do it, and I'm gonna. You just watch me. Alright, I'm going to show you this because a lot of you didn't believe I could do it. What I've done is I've tapped this out using a screw. And the way I did it is I took my little grinder and I cut the screw down. I notched it just enough so that there's a little bit that can go in the hole and start turning, and these little pieces of threads that stick out will cut a thread. This ain't very hard metal and not a great deal of it, and I don't need, you know, it's not like I'm bolting on a motor mount or something. All I need it to do is to hold this little grease fitting. So basically what I've done is I have manufactured up a makeshift tap to thread the threads here so that I can get this to go in. And I wanted to show it to you so that you could, look at there, ain't that pretty? So that you could, you know, if you're out on say an Easter Sunday working on your hot rod, and by the way, there's nothing sacrilegious about that. If Jesus was around, he'd be building a rat rod too. I have no doubt about that. Not to say that he's not around. Nothing sacrilegious, apologize, Lord, but you know, I just thought I'd throw that out there for y'all in case you're stuck one day and you need a way to get by. Sometimes you can just make it yourself. That's what hot rodding's all about. Okay, another video update. I did grease this thing up and it still didn't tighten it up. It's still pretty loose and wobbly, so I'm going to take it out. And basically the way you do that, you slide this little gizmo here, clamps this on. This is a hollow shaft, and the threads go up into it, and this thing clamps it tight once you get it in place. This is how you adjust your steering on the front once it's on there. But this thing's rusted in here. It's been in here a long time. What I'll do is I'll take a little screwdriver, drive it right up in the crack, spread that just a hair, kind of help loosen that up and get some oil down in there. Should be able to take this thing off and just go buy a new one. The one on the other end is good. It's good and solid. I like it. So anyway, I didn't want to lead you to believe that after I went to all that work that it actually did work, because it didn't. But you know, so what? Now I know, and I'll spend the money that I need to spend rather than spending money that I didn't need to.